Right. And I'll post well, first of all, get the game running, then I'll post links in social media. And I can't remember what the icon for my game is. Oh, there it is. Was that a thing? Oh, he says just firing up the DeLorean, so he will be on in a bit.
Oh, right, okay. What does the DeLorean mean? It's a computer that's like from 1984 or something. It's actually a BBC home computer.
You'll see, when it gets to 88 miles an hour, you're going to see some crazy shit.
Alright, okay.
Yeah, so... we'll just... it's going to be interesting, people watching this going, why is this called Fortean Word Special? And then Shakedown Hawaii...
Because we're special Hobbit, that's
well, yeah,
why.
It's the special ed version of Fortean Words.
We don't have Hemi to rein us in, so...
Well, also, like, the title card of it was Shakedown Hawaii. Ah, you know what? Now Hemi's not here. No, I'll mute Dyson Sphere Program's music. You won't be able to hear it, but I'm just listening to... Right, I'll load the thing up, and then what I'll do is I'll get... Right, so theme tune. Oh, we're going to get the special theme tune that Hemi doesn't like. This is like, you know, when...
Right now, aren't we? I'm just making sure,
yeah,
right?
yeah, we are live.
Without telling me.
Do not say fuck all. Do not say fuck all, bugger. It sounds what I've done.
I did set the stream to 7:15.
Oh, did you? No.
Did you know? You didn't tell anyone, though, did you?
We didn't know, so we've actually started hosting on BBC Two, and we're gonna play the special theme tune.
I've been out doing an errand in the fog, and it took a bit longer than I thought it did. I got completely lost.
Yeah, well, understand, it's so foggy here as well. My music, and then Fortean theme remix. That's it. And what one is it?
I don't need to run the music. Do the theme tune.
I'll sort by date. Yeah, because I'm going to do it this end, but then you can do it your end. Let's just check this is the right one. Yeah, it is. Okay, so let's share a link onto the thingy. And 40 word special. That's it. And it's the special show when the Tard Wrangler's not here to rein in the co-hosts. And I really
yeah.
Oh no! Play the theme tune.
I did warn people. Hold on, give me a second.
2117. 2117. 2117. 2117. 2117.
We have the new intro on the BBC Two one. There's another minute
it all
of it
made
to go.
perfect sense when I was in this.
2117.
You won't be able to hear it because I don't have it going through Discord.
2117.
Welcome to another 14 words.
See, I've even got a sample of it, of you going, welcome to another 14 words, but I put loads of reverb on it, so you sound spooky. Woo.
14 words.
Yeah, like that. Pretty
I'll
much.
put in the chat, my chat's dead.
Your
chat's dead, so I assume everybody's in your chat.
Yeah.
Oh, let's have a look at the yes, Alphabet Cat says hi Hobbit.
Right, so as usual, what we'll do is we'll read a bit from the 14 Times. I'm going through some back issues of the 14 Times and finding good bits. So,
well, also we're talking.
I'll start.
Fraser, when I was we're talking about the secret inside Bohemian Grove. Is any of that worth sharing? Shall we give a bit of context? Fraser and I were talking about.
Is that the faggiest goddamn place that Richard Nixon ever saw?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's like Harry Potter for adults.
it's Harry Potter for politicians.
Why is Richard Nixon your favourite? What's your fucking favourite US politician, and why is it Richard Nixon?
I get a feeling I'd probably be all right with Richard Nixon. You know, I just get a feeling like I wouldn't get on my tits if I was in the pub with him. But yeah, I got a feeling he didn't beat around the bush. Can you imagine being in the pub with him and Bernard Manning?
Well, you know, like, oh no, shock horror. People recorded stuff that went on in the Oval Office. Oh my God, that's never ever happened before, has it? Obviously.
Alphabet
It's
cat.
like, this is all part of how they screw with you, isn't it? How they piss on you and tell you it's raining when like perfectly good politicians or people or CEOs, whatever, get sacked for stuff that everybody knows everybody else does, but they don't get sacked.
They're in a clique, and if they don't want you to be part of their in group, they just make up all sorts of shit, saying like, "Oh, he farts in the staff cafeteria, so he's got to go." Alphabet Cat on my channel says,
now.
"Is it? Oh, okay."
That's instant dismissal now.
Oh God, Alphabet Cat says, "Which channel should I use?" And you're gonna have to be like Elvis and have two TVs, one showing BBC One, the other BBC Two, and then that way you'll get to see.
What's his favourite burger? Is it peanut banana cheeseburger? Is it?
I thought it. No,
peanut butter banana cheeseburger. Isn't it?
No, he would have peanut butter banana sandwiches.
Yeah,
but not as a burger.
That's what's wrong.
What, peanut butter and banana slices?
No, with the burger.
Oh yeah,
That's wrong.
I don't think I'd want to eat banana.
Some people have Marmite and banana, don't they?
No, that's.
Marmite and banana.
I don't think I'd want anything savoury with a banana. Have you ever had a barbecue banana though? That's good.
Here we go. I told you, bacon PB&J deep fried Sergeant Whitfield.
Oh, just before you get into that, and I'm going to look on BBC One as well.
Yeah.
The reason Alex Jones came up is apparently Ye West, formerly known as Kanye, is having an interview with Alex Jones. What was it, Fraser? I didn't look.
Oh, Kanye West is on Alex Jones's show, and he's Kanye West is full. I want to watch this.
Hasn't Fuentes been on?
He's on with them right now.
Well.
Fuentes and this Yee or whatever he calls himself now is on Alex Jones.
Don't play their game.
Why is he called Yee? I don't know.
Is it like when Prince changed his name to, was it Cadfael? And I thought,
I don't know. Everyone used to call him Squiggle. Didn't
oh, for some reason I thought he changed his name to Cadfael, and then I found out no, that was like a.
No. He changed his name to that sign, didn't he? So people used to call him Squiggle.
Oh right, because I thought like it
was like a peace, love, mail sign all mixed up into one. Do you remember that?
No, I don't, and
because that was when he was a slave and he was being
tough
he was
cap.
being exploited. It was being exploited by the people who pay for all his press junkets and press all the records, print all the labels inside the CDs.
I'm just going to share BBC One on my channel.
Wholesale everything, sell it all out. You know, he's really been exploited by those people, hasn't he?
So the artist formerly known as Prince, I thought. Yeah. Cadfael is a medieval. He's basically like
medieval detective.
The medieval Columbo. Yeah, that's it. I just got one more question. Oh, that would be an ecumenical matter, brother.
Just one more question. All right, fucking did it. Will you piss off? You're annoying me now. Go away.
Look, I admit I'm a heretic. I'm a devil worshipping heretic. You got me. Why don't I get the chat replay on yours? Maybe I have to refresh. I tell you what, YouTube's been really slow and sloppy when it comes to live streams for me.
Just the way you like it, Hobbit.
No, it's not actually. I wish Elon Musk would buy YouTube.
as Alphabet Cat says quite rightly, people go on about evil Nixon was, but look into LBJ, he was probably involved in JFK's little Dallas incident.
Oh, Alphabet Cat says Derek Jacobi. Yeah, that was Cadfael in the series. Yeah. Do I have to make your thing bigger? Is it like if it goes below a certain point, it just doesn't show up? No.
I think so. I would have thought so.
No. Oh, here we go. Yeah, the chat. It took like 3 minutes. It feels like to load up. So there we go.
Yeah,
I can
maybe they should spend time on the UI rather than trying to ban people who say like verboten words.
Nah. Why would you want to do something like that, mate?
Why would you want to work on the UI if you're a software?
Why would you want to?
Why would you want to do that?
Why would you want to improve features on your website rather than just banning people which contribute to it and make people come back? Well, that's crazy talk.
A bit like Disney with their like this mythical audience they're chasing that doesn't actually exist.
Well, no, I think it's rather the anti on that one. It's just like here's the audience that exists. Let's piss them off. The reason. So anyway, Alex Jones back in the news, and
no, I think they're chasing a mythical audience. I think that's what they're doing.
okay.
I think they think there is this like mythical audience of untapped
Unicorns.
untapped trans gay zoomers.
There must be billions of them. That's why it's such a lucrative audience. But I mentioned to Fraser, I said, look, I think Alex Jones is going to be embarrassed talking to Kanye West because he can't name them. And it's just, considering that he's currently being sued for the current US national debt, you'd think that he's got nothing left to lose, and yet he's still skirting around, you know.
Well, how much was the actual shooter fine?
I don't know, but I mean, it's like, mate, he talks about how Saudi Arabia and the Chicons run Hollywood, and it's like, Alex, don't do this. Don't. I love you, buddy, because
I think everybody's got their piece of Hollywood. I think all of these things could be true simultaneously.
I just look. I do love Alex. If it wasn't him, I wouldn't have come to Jesus Christ. And the reason being,
fair, I'd be happier with the Chicons running Hollywood because at least then, like, you'd have some decent films come out.
yeah, I mean, they do produce decent films. So you see, Runaway Planet, that was good.
You still haven't watched Iron Mask yet, have you?
Iron Mask, is that made by the Chinese?
The Arnie Jackie Chan. It's a joint Russian-Chinese thing, and it's really weird because it mixes, because it like combines the kind of myths of both. It's really weird.
I might check it out. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was quite. I watched it. It was quite interesting. It was interesting, not entirely horrible.
Well, anyway, Alex Jones, he said this was about Bohemian Grove. You might not believe in God, but they certainly believe in the devil, and they're the ones running this one. And I thought, you know what? There's another word which I'm not going to say on your channel, and also we're being
I used to say this Hobbit, and I used to say it doesn't matter if you believe it or not. They do.
Yeah.
Well, there's a word which I'm not going to say because, you know, we're live streaming both on BBC 1 and 2 at the moment. But there's another phrase. If you say Jesus Christ our Lord and Saviour, that makes people more angry than the other word, which you know I'm thinking about right now.
Yeah.
But that word I dare not say.
You mean the wandering people?
No, oh no.
The wandering people we were talking about last night.
I was talking about those with sticky fingers when it comes to modes of personal transportation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And the fried
you mean JCBs, Hobbit?
the fried chicken enthusiasts.
The JCBs, you remember JCB, don't you?
As we know, Belgium, there's a proud tradition of frying chicken.
Mechanical diggers.
Yes, there is a proud tradition of fried chicken enthusiasts in Belgium, and many recipes for it with mayonnaise.
You see what Tom said? I'm almost too scared to read it out, but fuck it. Alex Jones is right about everything except Sandy Hook.
Do you really want to mention that place name?
Yeah. Don't.
I mean, it's like saying that character in Harry Potter, when you do it, someone shits their pants.
When you poop in your dreams, you poop for real.
Hobbit's talking about Mumsnet. Hey, Bayer, be quiet.
Ish. It's Mumsnet. You don't want them on you. That's worse than the ADL.
You do not want to be put on the naughty step.
You don't want to be on Mumsnet's naughty step.
I
We're
mean,
going to go on with some actual content that we've wasted 10 minutes.
well, okay, so why is Alex Jones in the news again, apart from, like, the US national debt's going to be solved by him selling water filters?
Yeah.
That's a pretty bold strategy of the US Treasury Department, right?
Peanuts and large independents as well.
I mean, I didn't realise that water filters were that profitable. Why doesn't the US government just get into selling water filters themselves? Or here's an idea. Why doesn't, like, the US government put poison in
Because
its
they can't. Because the US government can't tax themselves. They can tax a private individual. That's why.
Alright, so what if, and, you know, stop me if I'm turning into a Phil here, but the US government makes a company called the US Government Water Filters for Clearing the US National Debt Private Limited Company, and then, like, any profits they make, they just tax it 100%. Is this would this work? Yeah, but like obviously they think like Alex Jones has got 2.7 trillion million billion zillion dollars, right? So why don't they just copy what he does? Because don't you think more people would buy from the US government than they would Alex Jones? Like, if the US government had super male vitality, would that sell better? or US government bone broth, now with less white supremacy, because, you know, Alex Jones is the evil KKK Nazi Hitler.
The ultimate white supremacist.
Well, he will be after tonight. Oh my god.
Yeah, just... I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing this interview between Alex Jones and Ye West, also known as
Yay!
Ye West. Apparently,
Yay, West!
Yay,
Yay, West!
does that mean he's now a yes man? Yay.
Yeah, E-man.
Apparently, he was playing Warhammer 40,000 when Kim Kardashian was giving birth to his son.
What a chad.
I just like the idea.
Has Warhammer 40,000 become like the ultimate meme, the meme thing to do?
I don't know,
It's
but
cool now. Yeah, it's become popular, right?
all right,
It's not for
Fraser.
nerds anymore, innit?
Let's have a nerd off. What Space Marine chap did you think Ye West paints? And why is it Black Templars?
Get a bit on the nose there.
Do you think he paints
you
Death
know, no, I
Corps?
think he plays Tyranids. I think he plays Tyranids.
Yeah. Oh,
I think he
he's
does,
he's got to have a Space Marine chapter. He can afford
No,
one.
I just he's a Tyranid.
You don't think he'd have like a 3,000 point orc army, would he?
No.
No.
No, he strikes me as a Tyranid player.
Really? Not
You know.
so. All right, I'll buy. Like a jeans dealer. Why a Nid army?
Why? Well, exactly. You just said it.
Warhammer is masculine according to Colette.
It is. But again, when it was cool.
So you don't imagine him playing Dark Eldar or Space Marines?
No.
No.
God no.
I mean, I could imagine him doing Salamanders. Oh,
Oh no, you know who he does play? He plays the fucking space communist. What I forgot their name. It's a Tau.
Tau.
That's it. Yeah,
You-
he
you-
definitely plays Tau.
you think he's a tower boo?
Yeah.
You see, I could
Yeah.
just imagine him. He's got a bunch like I imagine he's probably got Sisters of Battle, Death Corps of Krieg, and Black Templars, and occasionally like some Grey Knights if he's playing a 10,000 point battle, and he's he's got room in his private jet so that you could have the. Oh man.
No, you know what? in fact, he'd probably like unearth like the only remaining like space dwarves or whatever they were called.
I would
Because
like.
he's a millionaire. I bet he was just like, I want to be edgy and like unique. I'll do that.
I would like to play Necromunda on his private jet with him.
Necromunda.
Yeah, just like I'll be the Van Sars and he can be whatever, and yeah, I'll be. Just yeah, I could imagine this. If I was going to do a Space Marine chapter, I'd be Imperial Fists. Khan, Ye is 100% Tau. That's from Bear Ray. Oh, Damien in BBC One says, "Oi oi everyone, ley lines is aliens."
Ley lines is Ailamels.
Kanye Hunt.
Swamp gas over Venus. It's swamp gas over Venus.
Dom is saying that actually Kanye's niche Warhammer game would be Inquisitor, so that he could hunt rogue traders. What's that? You're carrying prescribed xenotech inside your ship? Exterminatus.
Do you reckon the character he'd most like to play would be Odo in Deep Space Nine, just so we can keep hassling Quark?
No. It doesn't work.
I could imagine, you playing Worf, so you can
Worf.
so you could get that Trill pussy.
Oh, fucking hell.
Did you see the early episodes? And they're playing like crap synthesizers from the mid-90s.
No.
There's like, if you watch like seasons 2 to 3, they're like Dax, and what was the Bajoran one called?
Have you actually watched it recently?
Yes.
I found that like the story wise is kind of shit up until the last season. The last season was fucking good. Like
it wraps
and
up
then.
then.
To wrap it up. Yeah, I know, but it got good in the last season. It was like, holy shit, this is actually really good. And then it just ends.
So, if you are new to my channel, welcome to BBC 2 Fortean Words, Fortean Special Edition. And if you are on BBC 1, welcome to the Special Edition of Fortean Words.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about ley lines.
What Space Marine chapter would you choose?
As per usual, I'll start with a bit from the Fortean Words times. And then we'll kind of expand from there. So, following Alfred Watkins' famous vision of straight paths crossing the landscape, the concept of lays has evolved over several decades. No, I don't need to read C panel page 31 to 32. It's a magazine and I can't get it up on screen. But it has become increasingly obvious to research-minded lay students there were never such features as lays, let alone ley lines. At best, they were convenient labels to cover a multitude of both actual and imaginary alignments from many different eras and cultures. This was because most enthusiasts were projecting their own ideas onto the past in various ways, but a handful of research-minded lay hunters cared about actual archaeology, and they followed where the mythical lays led. A journey in which they have made some unexpected findings, proving William Blake's dictum,
Dictum?
that if the fool persists in his folly, he will eventually become wise. These vary from discovering that culturally is this what Ye's doing? Is he?
What, ley lines?
He's persisting in his folly until he becomes wise. These vary from discovering that culturally contrived, altered mind states in past societies cause markings to be left on the land, to unravelling the meaning of a passage in a Shakespeare play that has revealed vestiges of spiritual geography in old Europe. Because the realisation of the New World features like the Nazca lines of Peru and other pre-Columbian land markings throughout the Americas seem to be associated with entranced mind states, typically triggered by the ritual use of plant or fungal hallucinogens.
What? Hang on. I've got to hang on this bit right now. NASCAR.
Hang on. You can do you're gonna capstan though.
Yeah.
Hang on.
The NASCAR lines are in one of the most arid areas of the world, right up on top of a plateau. You're not taking jungle juice there. And plus, they're so massive, you can't see them from the ground. You have to be high up in order to do it. And there's that bit, like, they've literally carved a massive runway into the side of a mountain. I mean, carry on with the rest of it, but let's just face it, the NASCAR lines are not just, LOL, take a bunch of shrooms and let's paint some funny doodles that happen to be hundreds of miles long.
You got to remember this is a lefty mag, which means they look down on the poor peoples of the world, don't they?
On top of the Atacama Desert as well.
Yeah. So he's saying they're associated with entranced mind states, has been sufficiently aired previously, and we need to spend little space on them here. Oh right. So he's just going to completely discount that part.
Yeah, considering it's complete bullshit in regards to the NASA. Well, I hate that. That is such a weasel thing, right? And this just weasels do this thing, right, where they say, okay, let's say I was going to make a baseless accusation about Hemi. Like, occasionally Hemi gets the kitten stomper out of his garage, and he stomps kittens to death in it. But we're not going to talk about that for the rest of the time because it doesn't happen. So I've just told you a blatant lie, but then I said let's just move on and not talk about that.
He's just appealing to authority. It's because he's like, well, I haven't seen these magical ley lines, therefore they don't exist.
Oh, but
I personally haven't seen them.
Yeah.
No, but it was just saying.
Authorities told me they don't exist, so therefore they must not exist. So
But no, it's just that whole bullshit about like, oh, people take psychedelics. By the way, the NASCAR lines. Anyway, let's not focus on that.
He's just using the psychedelics thing to oh well, what could he's doing Occam's razor. He's literally like going for the lowest common denominator and saying, well, what's the lowest common denominator? Oh well, some people could be tripping out their minds. Therefore, we have our answer, right?
Yeah.
Which is not always the case.
People high on drugs go into the desert and carve a runway out of a mountain with copper chisels, and they took 1 cup of tea with them to do it. Yeah, sorry, the absurdity of just like NASCAR lines is because someone did shrooms once. Just, but Hemi, please continue with it before I have an apoplexy of rage.
Apoplexy.
Yeah, like you said, yeah.
One of those.
That's it. I'll
But
have one of those,
he's going to
please.
discount that now, Hobbit. Now he's set that thought up in your head. He's going to discount it.
Yeah, fucking weasel. What's the point of mentioning it if you're just going to just like dismiss it? Oh, here's some bullshit I'm
Then
talking
that's a
to.
Martin Bailey argument as well. Isn't he like doing all of these logical fallacies right now? He is, isn't he?
This
my
thing
logical
here I've just
fallacy.
set up, let's forget that.
As you can see, I'm.
Is this Chekhov's bullshit?
Yeah, don't put bullshit in it if you're not going to reference it later on.
Yeah, but he's done with that now anyway.
Bastard.
Now he's slandered them as being junkies. He's done with that.
I hate this guy, and I don't even know him.
That's because he's a That's because he's a journalist, and you should have healthy. You should have a healthy disgust for journalists or wannabe journalists.
Is it hateful bigotism?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we need to spend little space on them here. Safe to note that in the late 1980s, so we need to spend a little space on them here, but we're going to spend some more space now. It's safe to note that
That's so fucking contemptuous. I mean, it's so contemptuous. I'm just going to interrupt you every 5 fucking seconds so you can't finish the story.
He's not covering himself with glory so far, is he?
I just think.
When the present writer, who could that be?
Who, by the way, is really
I'll
good.
tell you who he was at the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is it? The fucking lost me place now.
Oh, sorry.
The present writer introduced the term shamanic landscape. Look at him fucking big. Look, I've invented a term here to describe such ground markings. Few people were aware of the scale of mind-altering drug usage. This thing that he's put away, Hobbit, he's still talking about it.
It's just like the 100 Monkeys typewriter Shakespeare shit. Oh well, give all these people shrooms over like that, and they'll draw lines.
I know.
Given infinite
Yeah.
number of Incas and infinite number of shrooms, then you get the Nazca line.
Hang on, was this article written by King Cobra JFS? Because he goes on about, I'm not mad about my trolls, they're just sad people, and then he goes on for the next.
If I tell you his name, you can find him on Twitter and fuck him up.
I'm going to ask him a question about why did they.
Be like the guy with the fucking roads.
Yeah, I'm going to ask why did they regrade the roads when there was only like 15 automobiles in the world then?
His name's Paul Devereaux, and he's the former editor of The Lay Hunter.
No, he's King Cobra. He's Joshua Fay Saunders. That's the author of this article. He's just going to go on for the next 15 paragraphs about how he's not going to mention the psychedelics and then talk about psychedelics. Mind
altering drug usage in ancient America, and so tended to dismiss the idea at the time as being over fanciful. Subsequently, though, the role of mind-altered mind states in explaining certain imagery in prehistoric rock art has become more widely. So four cavemen all around a fucking bison, like they had to get fucking high right off their tits to do that, didn't they?
Oh, me do shrooms, me do out now. Oh.
Me do shrooms. Me draw me and Grug fighting mammoth.
Oh, me so strong.
You know what? The plot twist is they were all vegans. That's why they had to take shrooms to grow the cavemen. Prehistoric veganism.
The landmarkings still share a similar source to these rock art images. So features like the Nazca lines are not to be misunderstood as landing strips for extraterrestrial spacecraft, but as the markings of a culture encountering inner space. The human spirit has left its signature on the planet in some. Fucking hell, this bloke is pretentious, isn't he? Jesus Christ.
Actually, it's not an airstrip, even though that's exactly what it looks like. It's definitely just, abstract art for no reason whatsoever, guys.
Yeah, they were doing it for each other. That's why it can only be viewed from the sky. That's why.
I mean, guys that are licking toad venom totally just go up into the middle of the driest desert in the fucking world and carve a 2-mile long strip out of the mountain, guys. Just do that with copper chisels, innit?
Guys, they were just mining salt by licking the floor. That's what it was.
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, that's it. They were just licking the salt away. That's and then therefore Nazca lines.
It's just random lines.
Just random.
Random
Incas.
It's just
licking the floor.
The only reason you might see a dragon or a frog or a rabbit there is because of pareidolia. It's just pattern recognition going haywire.
Yeah. Alright, go on then. What's he got to say?
Oh, okay.
Please tell me more about King Cobra JFS's Fortean Words article.
This hour and a half is just going to fucking fly by.
I know.
Less well known by academics and folklorists, let alone anyone else, is the fact that Lays led researchers to revelations regarding largely ignored features in the old world. What's the bet this guy's an atheist?
Highly likely.
Is it one of those bets that if I give £1, I'll get 20p back?
No, he's worse. He's worse than an atheist. He's a New Ager. He's already mentioned inner space. That means heart vibrations. Shit's coming next.
Eat, pray,
right?
love. Is this dude like a eat, pray, love in it? Then is that what we're saying?
Yeah, one consciousness is coming next.
Dom has actually sussed it out. I hadn't considered that theory. It's quite perceptive of you.
Oh, I think you've got one of your I think your A-log's back, Hobbit. I would like to invite Hobbit to pray and ask him if Joseph Smith was a Hobbit. He's back. Your A-log's back, Hobbit. What did he used to be called?
I've forgotten the name now, but I know the guy you're on about.
Yeah. Oh, you fucking I forgot his name. Your A-log's back.
Jaff. Oh, Jaff. That's it.
Interdimensional lizard knows it.
Yeah, that's it.
A-log's back.
Jaff the Baptist.
Jaff the Baptist. No, he was a Mormon, weren't he?
Baptist, Mormon, same difference. They're all Protestants.
Baptist, Mormon, Dominion of Melchizedek.
Yeah, they're all bloody American, aren't they? I mean, I got my doubts on Nicholas Fuentes being Catholic because I'm like, well, I'm Catholic and you're not me.
Someone's noticed all your pinging of the hate bus.
Oh, have they now? Yeah.
Yeah.
I find like videos and send it to them.
In Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream, the bard has Puck say, "Now it is the time of night, and all the graves are gaping wide. Let everyone lets forth its sprites, in the churchway paths to glide."
Jeff was an ATG troll. What is an ATG? Aquatine Hunger Force.
How many?
So ley lines.
How many actors who have uttered? How many actors who have uttered these words, and how many modern audiences of the play understand what the hell Puck, the archetypal nature spirit, is on about? Some generalised notion of haunting. What are churchway paths anyway? Only slowly did the lay researchers themselves come to understand that Puck's works were a reference to the tail end of a deep-rooted spirit lore that stretched across the Eurasian landmass from China to Ireland. So archaic and widespread that it may even have accompanied modern humans out of Africa, dispersing in all directions from Central Asia. It is now what a noob believing in the out of Africa theory. It also became apparent that Alfred Watkins had picked up on sections of churchway paths in some of his church lays without realising it. There are slight variations in different cultures and ages, but the core of the deep-rooted spirit lore is that supposed spirits of one kind ceases supposed spirits. Look, this dude's an atheist.
Yeah.
I'll lay folding that
he's a new ager, mate. He's a new ager. I bet it's coming.
A new ager.
Yeah.
Eat, pray, love. Is that his religion? Is it eat, pray, love?
No, we're all of one continent. We're all stardust, basically. Is coming.
Oh, we're all stardust. All starges. Supposed spirits of one kind or another, spirits of the dead, phantasms of the living, or nature entities like fairies move through the physical landscape along special routes. In their ideal pristine form, at least, such routes are conceived as being straight. By the same token, convoluted linear features hinder spirit movement. Shakespeare churchway paths refer to a special class of old pathway or road in Europe known as corpse roads. In Britain, they can also be known by a number of other names: Bier Road, Burial Road, Coffin Line, Like, or Lich Way.
Oh, okay.
English liches, of course.
I was wondering if they're going to say things like old roads like Foss Way and Ridgeway. Oh.
Okay, yeah, because this is sounding like kind of like the cope of the Great Wall of China.
Tartaria.
Why it's built on top of mountains, and it's not straight. Basically, is because spirits find it difficult to traverse wonky roads. Yeah, it's sounding like that. As he's saying that ley lines have to be straight, right? Spirit lines have to be straight.
Someone said something.
Well, saying they don't necessarily. I don't think they would be
sure. That's what he said. No. That's what he's saying. That the spirits.
No, he said not necessarily. I think. In their ideal pristine form, at least, such routes are conceived of as being straight. So no, he's not saying they're necessarily straight. I don't think they would be necessarily straight, though, would they? Cause...
Someone was telling me they said, "Oh, I don't believe in ley lines because you can't have straight lines on the globe. It doesn't work. They'd have to curve." And so I was like, "Yep, yeah, you're probably right." I believe in ley lines, by the way.
Yeah. The feature was called Deader Weg in Saxon times, which may be the etymological roots of the Dutch term for corpse roads, which are Dudewiegen.
Dudewiegen!
Has Joe Rogan been down the Dudewiegen?
But dude, have you ever done ley lines?
Death roads, they are the Dudewiegen. Corpse roads are primarily medieval or early modern features. Many have disappeared, while original purposes of those that still survive as footpaths have been largely forgotten. Again, this is what we talk about all the time. We seem like we're living in the ruins of a greater society, don't we?
With barbarians living in the ruins.
Yeah.
We are the Eloi.
Yeah.
Well, we're like the Visigoths living in Roman temples.
The basic material facts concerning corpse roads are straightforward enough. They provided a functional means of allowing walking funerals to transport corpses to cemeteries that are burial rites. In the 10th century, there was a great expansion of church building in England, which inevitably encroached on the territories of existing mother churches or minsters. There was a demand for autonomy from outlying settlements that minister officials could erode their authority, not to mention their revenue, so they decided to institute corpse roads that led from outlying locations to a mother church at the heart of the parish, the one that alone held the burial rites.
I'm sorry, but every time you say Corpse Road, I'm thinking of the intro to Skeletons of Society.
Again, this is this bloke's atheism, isn't it? It's like, the mean church, they're screwing the working class. You know, he's all that, isn't he?
Oh, how does the chorus go? Death is all I see around.
I don't know the song.
Skeletons of Slayer, Skeletons of Society.
Oh, I don't know that one. I've never been really big into Slayer.
Thanks, Flex.
Oh, Skeletons of Society is a great song.
Uno says he thinks Google's HQ is built on a ley line.
That would make sense, yep. And I wouldn't be surprised if CERN would be at a ley line nexus as well.
I
That'd
think,
be
yeah, I think it's the sort of thing
That'd be
it's the sort of thing the Satanists would do on purpose.
Well, yeah, but there's no such thing as ley lines. They just build certain things in certain places, right? There's no.
It's just
no
random.
responsive-
That, you know, there's no reason why you do it.
Biarki says the early heathens directed the Christian newcomers where to build many of the churches in England, direct them to build them in line with these power grids lines from ancient. Yeah, I mean, do you think that's why America's such a state? Because they don't have churches on ley lines.
Well,
Do they not?
the
Well, I
don't know.
thought that like most modern cities are built orientated towards some form of like line structure, like kind of, aren't they? Like,
I was told that the pre-pagan worship sites were later built churches on top of them. And by the way, shades of death are all I see, fragments of what used to be. Yeah. You'd build your church on the ley line, which would be marked out by some sacred grove, and
Well, I think
because
I
it's an
think that, I mean,
auspicious
to
site to
some
have it.
extent- To some extent, weren't the British kind of bullied into becoming Christian? So I think the British did what
no,
they
they
did best.
accepted
And that,
it actually.
But
I think the British did what they did best and just did it passive aggressively and just put as much paganism into Christianity as
well, yes, because the Green Man and such. But you know, there's that thing of like Roman bishops came to England, and when they were telling them about Christianity, it's like, yes, we know we've been Christian for thousands of years. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
We thought you were pagans. It's like, yeah, you're talking about Jesus raised from the dead after 3 days and born on Christmas Day. Yeah, we know about Jesus. He was living here when he was a teenager. Yeah, he used to live in Cornwall next to St. Just, which has got some very interesting ley lines around it. And if you go dowsing around the church, which I have done, it's very easy to pick up. I mean, believe it or not, I got Grief and Brutus to go dowsing around that church, and they both picked it up fairly quickly.
Apparently your Tom Araya impression is better than your Russell Grant impression.
Who the hell's Tom Araya?
Slayer, isn't he?
Shades of death are all I see. Skeletons of society.
Biarki says the Green Man of Albion / Woodwoes is the Bigfoot that lived in Britain. That's quite that.
The Green Man.
Does make quite a bit of sense.
I thought the Green Man was an Ent. Like that's where Tolkien got the Ents from. It's the Green Man.
I don't know. I think I know. We need to do.
Wait, are we talking the Green Men
research.
from St. Martin's Land, or are we talking about?
I'm talking about.
No, they're not the ones from Woolpit. We're talking about you know about the old British thing about the Green Man.
I am.
You don't know about
I
that?
am convinced.
I've heard of it, but I'm not.
Well, you've seen Green Man pubs, haven't you?
Yeah.
And you've seen the
And
Green
you've
Man
seen
on
them,
old
you've seen the
churches.
board outside.
Yes.
No, they're Woodwoes on old churches, aren't they?
Well, they're giants, aren't they? They're giants.
No, it's the
right?
Green Man. What's Woodwoes?
Yeah.
I d-
Woodwoes is like a hairy dude.
Yeah, with leaves in his beard, and his beard is made of leaves
Yeah.
and vines.
Yeah, that's why Bjarki's mentioning both the Woodwoes and the Green Man.
I thought the Woodwoes was the Green Man. I thought he was the spirit of the forests made manifest.
I don't quite see. This is why we need to do some proper research and do a proper episode for once.
Hey, what are you talking about? We find out.
I don't know if they're distinct or the same thing.
Hemi, by asking questions, we tap into the Akashic record. So the research is literally the shitposting. By shitposting, we shall know. And I'm serious
You think
about
that-
that.
By ship posting, we shall know their name.
I'm literally serious about that. I think we've actually come and synthesized the truth on the show before.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which
I'm-
episode was that?
Well, no, yes, yeah, exactly. All of them.
Oh, you know.
All the ones where I've had I and Hemi have had a thought, and we've come to some conclusion. Like the Nazca lines
Right.
weren't built by a bunch of like proto hippies on shrooms or jungle juice.
So, the basic material facts concerning corpse roads are straightforward enough. They provide a functional means of allowing walking funerals to transport corpses to cemeteries that have burial rites. In the 10th century, there was a great expansion of church building in England. Oh, I've already done that, haven't I? Some parishioners, this meant corpses had to be transported long distance, sometimes over difficult terrain. Fields crossed by churchway paths often had names like Churchway Field. And today it's sometimes possible to plot the course of a lost churchway simply by the sequence of old field names. It's interesting stuff.
So what about the corpse roads? How do they tie into the later?
Fragments of society.
Well, I think this dude's trying to say that the churches just made them up so they can make money out of the poor people.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay.
it. Show's over. Thanks
Right.
for coming to my TED talk.
But do you think it might even be some sort of like ancient forgotten knowledge that you take maybe it helps their transition to the other side if you walk them along the corpse road.
Well, the Catholics got a thing that you pray for someone's salvation, that their soul finds its way to heaven quickly. So,
Yeah.
well, I mean, one thing,
But
like ghosts and the stone tape stuff, which you're saying, they're saying one of the reasons why ghosts are seen to walk through walls is because they're living in what building used to be. Ghost in a shell suit, no. The ghosts live in a way, and they go through walls because the walls didn't exist when they did it, and
Ooh, maybe I've just tapped into the Akashic record right now. Maybe the reason why we don't see ghosts in soul suits is because we don't have any souls.
Yeah.
we don't have any souls.
Oh, what, you think the Well of Souls is emptied a long time ago? Is that what you're saying, Fraser?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, well, why have we not seen anything recent with the ghostly stuff? Why is it always up to a certain point and then it stops?
I don't know. That dude saw that bloke from the 70s.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Maybe it stopped.
Maybe it stopped. I don't know. Just a
The
thought.
petrol dude. That was a weird ghost story. That was the petrol dude.
Yep, that was a ghost.
But Puck alludes to a secret history of these routes. They attracted already long extant spirit lore, for they ran not only through the physical countryside, but also through the invisible geography, the mental terrain, the pre-industrial country folk. Vestiges of this archaic spirit lore are revealed by a variety of virtual and physical features across old Europe. The virtual features were folk beliefs that, while having no physical manifestation, nevertheless had a geographical reality. An example existed in Neman, Russia, where it was a tradition of Flugbahn.
Like and subscribe.
Flight path. Yeah. Oh shit! Have I just summoned a? Am I going to summon Numkle Puckajul for jump? There were two cemeteries in the town, one Lithuanian and the other German, and the spirits of those interned in them were believed to be able to travel between the two places. The ghost was said to fly along on a direct course close to the ground, so a straight line connecting the two places was kept clear of fences, walls, and buildings to avoid obstructing
There we
visitor
go.
inspectors.
There we are. He's saying like I was saying, yeah, like it has to be a straight line.
Yeah.
But,
No, he's
like,
not saying it has to be a straight line, but he's saying that the
believe
path.
me. Yeah.
That they're saying the
That-
path needs.
Well, that's
to be
it. That's what I mean. It was free of and obviously I know. Surely it was straight. It was straight, right?
So the Germans had similar virtual paths they called Geisterwege. Although
Ghost
perfect
ways.
German there. Geist.
I
I
think-
think pronounced Wege in German.
Yeah, I think that you're pretty close to the mark.
Geisterwege. Although
I
invisible,
think
these spirit paths
Geists
had-
are German for ghosts.
Geist, yeah.
I've always pronounced them as Geist.
That's
But...
poltergeist, because poltergeist is noisy ghost, isn't it?
Oh, okay. Yeah, and thought that makes sense. Yeah.
Although invisible, these spirit paths had a definite geography and local folklore, and people would be sure to avoid them at night. German folklore reference work, something in German, describes them thus. The paths, with no exception, always run in a straight line over mountains.
There we
as a straight line.
go. There we go. Told you.
Yeah, but this is the Germans. They ain't gonna have a wiggly wibbly line, are they?
Wonder what makes you wonder why Romans built straight roads.
Hobbit, how do you pronounce Ibis?
I'm not even. Fraser, you're not getting me on that one.
Pronounce it.
I'm
like that.
selling this something to it. There must be
Ibis.
something to
We
this
all know
straight
why the
road.
Romans did straight
Spirit.
roads.
Sure.
It was so certain people could build corner shops on them. That's why. The paths, with no exception,
Oh.
always run in a straight line over mountains and valleys, through marshes. In towns, they pass the houses closely or go right through them. Paths end or originate at a cemetery. Therefore, this way or road was believed to have the same characteristics as a cemetery, where spirits of deceased thrive. Hobbit.
Well, no, I was the chat was asking me how to pronounce Ebrisbacher, and then they're saying no, it's actually to pronounce Ibisbacher. Yeah. So I don't know much German.
The captain has a Chinese knockoff heater, by the way.
The cat has.
No joke. In Ireland and other Celtic lands, there were fairy paths that, again, while being invisible, nevertheless had such perceived geographical reality in the minds of the country people that building practices were adopted to ensure they were not obstructed. There are startling similarities to the beliefs underpinning Chinese Feng Shui landscape divination, in which homes and ancestral tombs had to be protected from straight roads or other linear landscape features.
There we go.
Arrows.
Yeah, you don't
Because
want a straight
troublesome
arrow
spirits
pointing at your front door.
Yeah.
You're inviting disaster.
Arrow in your front door either.
No, you certainly don't. You're inviting trouble if you do.
Yeah. Indians probably. In Ireland, people who had illnesses or other misfortune, or who suffered poltergeist activity, were said to live in houses that were in the way or in a contrary place. In other words, they
That's
obstructed a fairy path. I think there's also been some. Is it like, I don't know, folklore research? I really don't know what to say, but that underground river sources kind of amplify hauntings, don't they?
I mean, those definitely have an effect, because one of the reasons why the Rollright Stones, which is a major ley line nexus, it has a massive underground aquifer of primordial water. Now, I mentioned it in, I think it was in my lighting a fire video this morning. Primordial methane is made from the primordial hydrogen and carbon, which is ever present. That was what was present in the formation of our Earth. So primordial water is made from the hydrogen and oxygen which was there at the creation of Earth. So it's not water which has ever come into contact with life, and
Right.
it just large pools of water like that. They for whatever reason, our ancestors decided, yep, gonna build a stone circle here. So you got things like
fairy
that.
paths. Fairy paths typically linked fairy forts, a class of circular earthwork dating from the Iron Age. Airy or eerie mountains and hills, thorn bushes, springs, lakes, rock outcrops, and Stone Age monuments. Although the form of specific fairy paths tended to be mentioned only in passing in the earliest written sources, it's possible to gradually assemble a general picture of their characteristics. Most sources implied that fairy paths were straight. Writing in 1870 in the Fireside Stories, Patrick Kennedy stated it clearly: fairies go in a straight line, gliding as it were within a short distance to the ground. So again, this is very similar to the German thing, isn't it?
Definitely something to the straight line.
Out of curiosity,
I
because
mean, if China's doing it, Ireland and Germany are doing it, there must be something to it, all right?
Yeah.
so out of curiosity,
I mean,
have either of you guys drunk?
Never met. Yeah.
Either of you guys drunk spring water, like from a spring?
Don't think so.
Can't say I have.
Oh, there was a spring outside my house as I was a kid, so I used to drink the water there. And they said, oh, you shouldn't because it's polluted, but I drank it. I didn't get sick from it. And I
I'd imagine
just
it was a
got
really
possessed.
bad way of drinking spring water.
Oh, well, if
Drinking that fairy juice there, Hobbit.
Well, I did say, mate, I meant Capstan, and you got the shit.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough. That makes sense.
Do you remember that one, Hobbit? I said it, and then I just remembered who said it. That's why I stopped. And it was Capstan, and he got the shits from it.
Da 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 da. Brr. Brr.
So, an example of this fairy straightness is provided by an account concerning a crop.
Fairy
now
straightness.
cattle
That's
shed.
an oxymoron.
Yeah.
Fairies aren't straight.
Knock
'em sock 'em.
Knocking sock 'em robots. Knocking Crean Brosna in County Kerry.
That's easy for you to say.
It's Knock. It's Knock double EN CREEN. Now, how would you Knocking Crean?
Wait a minute. Can you type that out, because I can't even retain that in my mind.
Oh no, it's fucking weird. I'll type.
Oh,
it
hang
in
on.
chat.
Yeah, Lockheed Martin. That's Lockheed Martin. That's literally Lockheed Martin, but instead of an L, you've got a K.
No, that's it. I bet.
Knocking screen.
Knocking Crean. No, there's no S.
Knocking cream's a euphemism.
Sounds pretty painful. I don't think it's a good thing if you got knocking Crean, is it?
I was just thinking it's like another way of saying population paste.
It's a tropical cream. In an interview in the 1980s, the last human occupant told of the troubles his grandfather had experienced there, with his cattle periodically and inexplicably dying. If you want to find out about fairies killing cattle, listen to our fairy episode, which is really good.
Oh God!
No,
the exsanguination was weird.
Yeah, the fucking the weird cow that gets fucking swapped. What's it? So the trouble his grandfather experienced there, with his cattle periodically and inexplicably dying. The front door is exactly opposite the back door. The grandfather was informed by a passing gypsy that the dwelling stands on a fairy path running between two hills. The gypsy advised the grandfather to keep the doors slightly ajar at night to allow the fairies free passage. Just remember, a gypsy told him this. I'm saying nothing. The advice was heeded and the problem ceased. It so happens that the building is indeed on a straight line between two local hilltops, and is moreover at one end of one end of a long straight track. If the croft were in China, it was said to have had bad feng shui.
Yeah.
Fairies and the spirits of the dead enjoyed a curiously ambiguous relationship in the peasant mind.
Well,
look at him, talking about peasants.
Look, rather than calling it Beijing, let's call it Peking. You know, it's not bad feng shui. Yeah. It's an inauspicious place to put something.
It's bad juju.
Yeah, bad juju.
An American folklorist, bad bubble. American folklorist Evan Wentz was told about the paths of the dead in Brittany that he could not distinguish from the beliefs about fairy paths. Similar could be said of invisible ghost routes in Albania and elsewhere. When I say Albania, I want to go Albania for some reason.
Albania.
These virtual Albania. These virtual spirit roads were always conceived of as being straight, but the physical corpse roads of Europe vary between being straight and not. Sneeze. And not particularly so. Virtual routes are less affected by contingencies than our physical tracks. Examples of straight physical spirit corpse paths include a Viking funeral path at Roserig, Sweden, which runs to a Viking and Bronze Age cemetery. The stone road in the Harz Mountains in Germany, and the Dutch Dudewiegen, which were officially checked on an annual basis to ensure their straightness and regularity of width. Standards and practices. In old Europe, there then seems to have been a virtual blueprint concerning spirit ways relating to physical cemeteries and material pragmatic paths that are actually used for conveying corpses to burial. The precise relationship between these virtual and physical features has not been fully explored, but as Shakespeare revealed, there is no doubt that the physical corpse roads came to be perceived as being spirit routes taking on the qualities of the archaic blueprint. For a start, there is an abundance of generalised law about how corpses were to be conveyed along corpse roads to avoid their spirits returning along them to haunt the living. There was a widespread custom, for example, that the feet of the corpse be kept pointing away from the family home on its journey to the cemetery. See, I'd have thought the feet would be towards the house. When you fly head first, don't you fly forward?
Well, what if you had it perpendicular to us, so you'd have the feet and the head facing it? Can you bury someone but have them laying on the side?
Why not? Why?
So you roll them away from your looking at your house?
Surely if one of them face down, so when they go.
Yeah, face down. That's it.
Isn't that disrespectful though? In some places to bury someone face down.
Is it? I don't see why.
Well, it's all when we bury people, it's always face up, right?
I know.
On the
How
back.
did? Yeah, but no disrespect intended. Why? I don't
You
get.
should bury people in the recovery position.
Just in case.
That's it. Roll them on the side in the recovery position.
Yeah, that's the way they should be buried.
Yeah.
Just in case. Well, they did that in the Victorian ages. You have the little string that led to the bell, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
In case you're accidentally buried.
Captain's being pragmatic now, says you should chop them into bits.
Yeah.
Oh, here's an idea for a zombie film. Because it's the future, right? And people don't bury their dead, they're all cremated. But then the dust, chokes people's lungs and possesses them, and then they turn into, zombie possessed. Yeah. See? $1 million idea. Sci-fi zombie.
So, the precise relationship between these virtual and physical features has not been fully explored. So the feet. So the feet of the corpse be kept pointing away from the family home, which I think is kind of fake counterintuitive. But that's that. On its journey to the cemetery, other minor ritualistic means of preventing the return of the dead person's shade, including ensuring that the route the corpse took to the burial would take it over bridges or stepping stones across streams, for spirits could not cross open running water. Now, why
Yeah,
is this?
I've heard
Does
that
anybody know
before.
why this is?
Oh, why? Yeah. I've heard that
Vampires.
somewhere.
Vampires
Yeah.
and witches as well can't cross running water, can they?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's
And
true.
do you know one of the benefits of running water, which is beneficial to one's health? Running water, surf, which is also running water, yes, and trees in the forest and such, all emit negative ions. And negative ions absorb positively charged ions, which are the most free radicals are positively charged ions, which are deleterious to one's health.
So, okay.
And now you know, and knowing is half the battle.
Yes, that's. Yeah.
Styles and various other liminal betwixt and between locations, all of which had reputations for preventing or hindering the free passage of spirits. So now they're going back on it then, aren't they? Because they're saying that these roads were for the free passage of spirits, but now they're saying they shouldn't be. So are they saying corpse roads are different to the other kind of bits?
I'm detecting some inconsistencies here.
Yeah. In old Europe, crossroads fell into a similar category. The corpses of suicides were buried at crossroads, for example, so their spirits would be bound there, and for similar reasons gallows were often erected at them. The living took pains to prevent the dead from wandering the land as lost souls, or even as animated corpses, for the belief in revenants was widespread in medieval Europe. All these customary precautions obviously suggest that people using the corpse roads assumed that they could be passages for ghosts. But there is more specific evidence too. For example, the documented contemporary tradition relating to a corpse road at where's this? Alst in Belgium, Hobbit.
Alst?
A-L-S-T.
Oh yeah, that's a Dutch name, Alst.
Oh, is it? Oh, right, so that's Walloon trickery, is it?
Wallons would have had a French name.
Oh, right, have I got it wrong?
The Flemish are the Vlanderans, and the French are the
Flemish.
Wallons.
Flemish tricks, then, is it, Hobbit?
Flemish phlegm.
Informs us that mourners had to intone, "Spirit, proceed ahead, I'll follow you." This indicates that the spirit connection existed when the roads were being used, and is not some falsified fake memory added later. This is reinforced by the fact that one Dutch term for corpse road was spoken weg, spook or ghost road. German, what do you prefer, dude wegger or spoken weg?
I just like Craig Wilson's burial traditions.
Walkers in white-shaped coffins.
And just for those watching on BBC Two, the reason why I'm deleting half the solar panels here, this planet's tide locked, so these solar panels will always be at night.
So, German law maintained that corpse roads took on the magical characteristics of the dead and should not be obstructed. Churchway paths were definitely associated with spirits, so Puck knew what he was talking about. Oh, so they're saying that you have the corpse roads, which are to be obstructed, and then you have the
corpse roads.
The other type of corpse road.
Is he saying that though?
Corpse roads are all I see. Fragments of society.
When
Yeah,
is he
because
saying
he's
that?
because he's kind of realised that he's contradicted himself now, isn't he? So that he's got to untangle it. The archaic spirit law that attached itself to the medieval and later corpse roads also may have informed certain prehistoric features. In Britain, for instance, Neolithic earthen avenues called cursuses link burial mounds. These features can run for considerable distances, even miles, and are straight or straight in segments, always connecting the funerary sites. The purpose of these avenues is unknown, but some kind of spirit way function must at least be. So yeah, so he's saying the spirit ways. So he's saying spirit ways and corpse roads are two different things. Is what he's saying, I think. Similarly, some Neolithic and Bronze Age graves, especially in France and Britain, are associated with stone rows, sometimes with blocking stones at their end. What was being blocked? Do either of you two know what? Have you ever seen the blocking stones at the ends? Stone rows? I don't think I have.
But some examples would look good, because then I could go, oh yeah, I've seen those again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, it could have been, and you just didn't know what it was, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is pretty obscure.
Hmm.
You know, you don't
Spirit Road Necromancy is the next section. In the course
Spirit
of their
Road
corpse way
Necromancy.
revelations, research-minded lay hunters uncovered a forgotten form of necromantic divination. In Britain, we pick it up as the church porch watch or sitting up. In this, a village seer would hold a vigil between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. at the church door in the graveyard at the Lich Gate, where the cortege entered the churchyard, or on a nearby lane. Because liches, don't you fight liches in The Witcher, I think?
Fight liches wherever they are.
They're like graveyards. They're like graveyard spirits, aren't they, liches?
Hmm. I always think like a lich is something to do with lichen, but it's not.
Lich spirit. Let's find out exactly what a lich is, because I think like the different words they have different.
Yeah, I've been corrupted by World of Warcraft, and every time you say Lich, I just think Kel'Thuzad.
Yeah.
I think of the fighting fantasy books. Choose Your Own Adventure. Caverns of the Lich King.
Yeah.
Yank. No, I've got a yank definition. It says in American
Yeehaw.
English, lit is a noun. Brit obsolete lich. I don't know.
You are obsolete.
No, well,
Smack my lich up.
smack my lich up.
Maybe just put in like English folklore Lich.
No, I
Liches.
don't know.
Walking down the
All I can
beaches,
find
looking at the liches. Down, down, down. Down, down, down.
Do. Anyway, I can't find it. Lich Gate, where the cortege entered the churchyard, or a nearby lane, presumably a corpse road, in order to look for the wraiths of those who would die in the following 12-month period. Ooh. Typically, this watch took place on St. Mark's Eve. Anybody know what date that is?
Is it like St. Crispin's Day? If you're, what's his name?
24th of April. 24th of April. Day after St. George's Day.
Oh, okay.
Typically, this watch took place on St. Mark's Eve, Halloween, or the eves of New Year, Midsummer, or Christmas. Wraiths of the doomed but still living members of the community would usually appear to the inner eye of the seer as a procession coming in from beyond the churchyard and passing into the church and then returning back out into the night. However, in some cases, especially Wales, watchers were more likely to hear a disembodied voice tell the names of those who were soon to die. One apocryphal story tells of a church watcher who saw a spectral form that was so hazy he had to lean forward to try and identify it. As he did so, he heard a disembodied whisper, "Tis
Okay.
yourself."
No, he had a
Right,
disembodied whisper saying, "Skeletons are all I
This
see.
is just the old
Fragments of
archaic
society."
English word for corpse, basically. That's what a lich is, a corpse. Yeah.
Oh, so it's just like a lich they use in the Witcher or something. Then it's just like a
Corpse.
thing made up. Then it is
That's
a reasonable guess.
Polish folklore, to be honest, so it could be different.
Yeah.
Which is based on
It is a reasonable guess that spectral processions would have come into the churchyard via the corpse roads, the churchway paths. This is supported by the fact that an old woman at Fryup in Yorkshire, who is well known locally for keeping the Mark's Eve watch, lived alongside a corpse road known as Old Hell Road. That's nice. The church watcher custom in Britain seems to have been a variant of a Dutch tradition concerning a class of diviners called voorlopers or
Jurgenbergers.
Jurkieken or
Ye-
precursors.
Jurgenbergers.
Who was specifically associated. It was specifically associated with the Dutch death roads, the Doodwegen.
Dude, vegan.
They were seers able to tell who was going to die soon in the community because they had the ability to see the spectral funeral processions pass along the death roads they had visited or lived alongside. The folklorist W.Y. Evans Wentz recorded in a similar tradition near Carnac in Brittany. The Dutch precursors, the Breton funeral seers, and the British churchyard watchers would seem to fall in the same general class of divination as did those who perceived the spirits of the dead in trance by sitting out in Uticeta in cemeteries or on burial mounds in old Norse tradition, or by sitting in trance at certain times between St. Lucy's Day, which is the 13th of December, and Christmas, a seer's custom known in Hungary as St. Lucy's Stool. Ooh, no. Is that be like what Gillian McKeith used to look at in a casserole dish?
It's
Oh,
yes.
Another
The woman formerly known as Dr. Gillian McKeith.
You two wouldn't remember this, but do you remember when she was in I'm a Celebrity and she had to leave because she couldn't hack it and she was malnutrition. Malnutrition.
I vaguely do remember it. I mean, I didn't watch it on principle, but like my girlfriend at the time was into it, so I was like, oh, and I was like, isn't that Gillian McKeith? It's like, oh, is she upset because she's not got a piece of poo to poke with a stick? Did you not watch the show?
I didn't watch
Do you
that one.
remember when Carol Thatcher was too lazy to go for a piss, so she pissed down by the side of her bed?
Oh.
I mean, like Godwinson the other day was going on about how bad it is people piss in the sink, but at least that sanitary is just like, oh, I'm just gonna like piss
Who
down the
fuck
side.
pisses in the sink?
I'm
sorry.
I do all the time. The thing about good manners is you just got to take the washing up out first.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, you know, like people can slag off pissing in the sink, but at least I'm not just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna have a slash down the side of my bed on national TV. It's like that woman, that marathon runner, is just like, I'm just gonna take a dump whilst running, just no shame whatsoever.
Oh, well, I mean, you know, got a race to run, right? Fucking.
Did she have a St. Lucy's stall then?
I believe so. Yes.
No, obviously not. She didn't stall anything. Came out.
Tom Simpson says, "Our mate Seaside Mark likes a sink slash."
Oh.
Yeah, but he pisses in the kitchen sink, or at least do it, you know, in the WC.
I think there's a little bit more to this.
It's not out of choice women take too long in the labs.
Yeah, exactly right. So any man who's told me that they've never pissed in a sink, clearly you've never been in a house where there's only like one lavatory and there's a kitchen sink, and she's there like 3 hours later, it's like, I'm desperate for a slash. And then she comes out, it's like, oh, you can use the loo now. It's like, yeah, I'm alright. What do you mean you're alright? I took matters into my own hands. Thanks for taking 3 fucking hours.
Yeah, but he goes spoons. There's no.
Yeah, that's what I'm
spoons,
saying.
There's no washing up.
Oh.
Telling you, Obbit was like, oh, I just clogged the toilet. Oh, I need a piss now. He goes and pisses in the spoon sink.
That's what they're there for, you know. You get your unlimited refills, and then you have a piss in the sink. It's the Weatherspoons customer policy.
It's the Weatherspoons way.
Yeah, Weatherspoons are nothing if not hospitable to their patrons.
Ian Fortean says, when I was living in a hall of residence when I was a student, I had a sink in my room and it was always pissing in it and puking in it.
Yeah.
Puking in it. Is
Puking,
it me? Or
yeah, okay. Fair
I
enough.
don't know.
Piss-
Puking in the sink is when you're the lowest form of life. No.
No.
Puking in the sink
No,
is
no, no.
wrong.
Puking's fine in the sink. Like,
Or-
come on, like,
Puking in the sink
you can't
is
reach
wrong.
the toilet. You're like 2 inches off. You're like ducking in the sink.
The only
like-
time it's acceptable to puke in the sink is when you have diarrhea as well. That's the
I
only time.
was just about to say I had my
Unless you guys have got literally like 3 foot off the ground sinks, I just don't know how you're gonna fucking piss in the sink. What
No.
do you do? Fucking
I've
just put the
Well,
tip over the edge.
It's easy, Fraser. You just hang your dick over the edge, don't you?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like tip on the edge. Fucking
if
let gravity fucking take its course.
Yeah.
if ever you have the misfortune of
You know what it's like with water. Once you
Yeah.
got the water supply going, like gravity will do the rest for you.
what's his name? Tom Simpson says puking in the sink is like puking in the bin. It's not on. At least it's better than
exactly.
than King Cobra JFS, who's just like, oh, I'm gonna be sick, and he's like there for a minute. It's like looking like he's about to be sick. Doesn't get up. Doesn't reach for a bin. He just voms all over himself and on the chair and on the floor like a toddler. It's ridiculous. if you ever have the misfortune of suffering norovirus, you will understand that your ass stays on the toilet whilst your head remains in
I
the
know
sink.
Coletti Spaghetti wants us to know I piss in the toilet brush holder.
Is that to get the skiddies off?
The fucking clegg nuts off the fucking toilet brushes.
King Cobra is a
King
scholar
Cobra
and a wizard.
Yeah.
God. Yeah, he sure is.
As Interdimensional Wizard says, it's the ultimate manlet test. Are you able to reach the sink to piss in it?
I sink, therefore I piss.
Yeah.
Ley
Another
lines.
manifestation of Spirit Road necromancy in Britain was a style divination. An illustration of this is provided by a Cornish folktale in which the ghost of a woman's dead husband carries her over the treetops and deposits her on a stile on a churchway path leading to Ludgavan Church, where she is able to interrogate passing ghosts. Styles were considered favourite perches for ghosts. Until now, style divination has been mentioned in the folk record without its context being understood.
Cool.
So how does the ghost of a woman's dead husband... I mean, is that her astral form or something? I mean, a ghost ain't going to pick her up and then put her on a stile, is he? That
Do you
still don't make... Even though he's explained it, it still don't make sense.
No, that's why I was frustrated with him at the beginning with Nazca line stuff. I got a bit upset there. I'm sorry.
He's kind of brought it back, hasn't he? He still seems a bit atheist, though. He doesn't seem like he's like spiritual anyway, does he?
No, I don't think these people can really appreciate it if they've got no reverence for the metaphysical. How can you?
Yeah, well, you need to, don't you?
You're just looking at this world like it's all random happenstance, and you're an aberration.
So, a further facet of this same overall class of seership is described in Icelandic folklore, in which a seer would visit a crossroads where the four roads run, each in a straight unbroken line, to four churches, or from where four churches were visible on New Year's Eve or St. John's Day, cover himself with the hide of a bull or walrus, and fix his attention on the shiny blade of an axe, whilst lying as still as a corpse throughout the night. He would recite various spells to summon spirits of the dead from church cemeteries, and they would glide up the roads to the crossroads where the seer could divine information from them. Crossroads divination was also conducted in former times in Britain and other parts of Europe, and is associated with traditions that the devil could be made to manifest at such intersections.
That's why
This complex of crossroads...
it used to be at crossroads, and you still see it in places in Europe. And on old roads here in England too, you will find a cross or a shrine at each crossroads to dispel the devil and other would-be nasty spirits.
This complex of crossroads lore is also related to the idea that spirits of the dead could be bound at crossroads, specifically suicides and hanged criminals, for along with the idea that straight routes could facilitate the movement of the spirits. So contrary features like crossroads and stone and turf labyrinth were thought to be able to hinder it. So they say like spirits get confused easily, because there's the old folklore about vampires, isn't there? If you throw a load of seeds on the ground, they're compelled to count them.
Maybe these creatures don't have free will. Maybe they're operating on something, and for that reason, like there's like you can do logic traps on them.
Yeah.
But what is the point in this? Where do they go? What is the purpose of these intersections? Is it just to exchange the ghost? I don't know, energy, like plasma. I don't know what is it? What's the point?
It might be because I'm thinking about, like, day after day transporting corpses along the road. You're doing
Day
it for
after
a reason,
day,
aren't you?
Yeah.
along on the hill stands a foolish man. I can't remember the rest of the song.
But then like the crossroad thing with the intersections of the four churches thing. Like if it's just if they're all going towards the middle, the crossroads, like why? Why do they go towards that?
It's a confluence point.
Well, the thing is, you put them there and then they're confused. Like, is the only thing I can assume that you're doing with crossroads.
So what they're saying is if you left unchecked, if you didn't have crossroads, if you left these graveyards,
they'd be
it'd
able
be
to
havoc.
go wherever they wanted.
Right.
wouldn't
Okay. Oh, okay. Interesting. Hmm.
At least that's my reading of it, Hobbit.
Well, so I mean, okay.
You're confusing the spirit, aren't you? That's what you're doing, aren't you?
Well, I'm also thinking to myself because at ley line cross points, that's where they have churches or stone circles. They have something there, and I get a feeling that these were machines. I mean, they're not machines in terms of like steam pumps or what have you, but they are a type of stone machine. You put it in an area, and it stops. It's like a way of pumping positive energy into it. I know that sounds a bit airy-fairy, but you do it for a beneficial effect. You don't go like all the way up to a mountain to carve a chapel in there, because you're doing it for benefit. I quite like those monasteries. They carve them into sides of cliffs and such.
Well, you're doing it to benefit people after you, aren't you?
Yeah, that's something people used to do. Where they used to do things for benefits of others that they never get to see. Like cathedrals taking generations to build.
Maybe.
Like stealing loads and loads of sheep, so you can so when your ancestors can grow up and marry Prince Charles.
Funny enough, my dad was talking about, and he was talking about the pyramids and how the later tribes couldn't build it and we couldn't build it. And I said, well, I'd never even mind the pyramids. I mean, the cathedrals are not as grand a construction as that, but we can't build them today. He says, we don't have the patience our ancestors did.
I mean, these were 30-year projects, weren't they? So, or more.
100 years, if not, yeah.
Yeah.
And he says, like, the last of the classical cathedral, I say classical, was the Gaudi one in Spain. And even there you can see it's not as good as what came before it, even though it is nice.
So this was...
Uno asks, how did they know those lines were there? Who told them? That is a good question.
Yeah.
Do you think this atheist knows?
So this complex of crossroads law is also related to the idea that spirits of the dead could be bound at crossroads, specifically suicides and hanged criminals.
Why
Along with the
does
idea
that
that straight
matter?
routes.
Okay, so why is that different?
Yeah, it is
to
kind of
a
weird,
normal?
isn't it?
Why those specifically? Like, okay, I get the killing yourself in the ye olden days is seen as a
Sin.
you're going to hell, bad thing, kind of corruption.
You're rejecting
but why
God's
specifically
gift.
Hang criminals. Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
Why not criminals that got away with it? What would happen if that soul was to be free, as they say, and not bound?
Stop asking questions, heretic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
For along with the idea that straight routes could facilitate the movement of spirits, so contrary features like crossroads and stone and turf labyrinths were thought to be able to hinder it. This was part of a broader fear of spirits that might flit into dwellings. In Bavaria to this day, one can find convoluted patterns of pebbles at doorstep to confound dangerous entities, or just inside the front door there can be spirit traps looking like little antennae stuck into ceiling beams. Witch bottles were common throughout Europe. Bottles or glass spheres containing a mass of threads, often with charms entangled with them to forestall the passage of witches flying about that night. Cats' cradles of threads would be laid on the chests of corpses to stop them wandering prior to burial, and nets of threads mounted on poles were placed along churchway paths that were believed to be haunted. Beyond Europe too, similar devices were employed in Tibet, for instance. Thread crosses, mados, were placed on the roof ridges of houses as devil catchers, and much larger ones deployed around monasteries. These European and Asian devices look very similar to American Indian dream catchers, revealing curiously similar notions about the passage of spirits. Curious that it is, unless one accepts that the premise that is all derived from a common and extremely archaic source in Central Asia. The alternative explanation is that the common wiring of the human brain produces similar concepts in the minds of people in technologically similar societies. A final option, of course, is that pre-modern peoples around the world were responding to the actual perception of spirits moving through the land. But however far we follow them, the ley lines cannot lead us to an answer about that. Can they? So that's the end of that atheists.
Right, yeah.
Do you want to go through the brief history of ley lines?
Yeah, go on.
1921. Businessman and pioneer photographer Alfred Watkins announces his vision of straight alignments of ancient sites at a meeting in Hereford, England. He envisaged Stone Age surveyors using wooden sighting rods.
So you're telling me it's
Skyline
that
creatures.
recent?
Well, that's what they're saying here.
It just, to me, it seems a lot longer than that. And also, just for those on BBC, those on BBC Two, I hope they really appreciate the look of the waves going over that little sparkly bit there. I'm going to bulldoze it with concrete now.
It's just basically about Watkins. So he thinks this Watkins fella invented them, I think.
Oh, right.
Ah,
okay,
mate,
so-
like, I think
That's right.
it's an older principle than that. And there's surely somebody must
He's
have
already
been...
said it as. He's already said it as. So why is he saying it started in 1921? Like, this bloke's just full of contradictions, isn't he?
That's
Wait,
why
is it the same guy writing this article, the second one.
Yeah.
I'm having a
History,
hard
right?
time
Okay.
following it because I'm frustrated listening to this. It's
Yeah.
not your fault, Hemi. It's just
He's being skeptical for what?
he's just a dickhead.
He's the problem with the Fortean Times is like a lot of people that write for it are kind of lefty atheists.
It seems to me you lived your life as a dickhead.
Live my life as a dickhead, writing stories about ley lines.
I'm gonna be skeptical about ley lines because I'm a dickhead. Leftist fact checkers wrote this article.
And yet there's
Ooh, I
he's
thought-
bringing up. Yeah, okay.
Why do they have to be so annoying?
Dividing,
Well,
like,
he
leftist-
kind
leftist
of hasn't
fact
like
checkers, I suppose.
decided what the purpose of ley lines are for them. Just like, are they a power source? Are they just confluence of spiritual energy? What is it like? What are they? What is the purpose? I
It's
mean,
just a
everyone's
random
doing that, like-
abstract, bro. It's just coincidence. There's just
Yeah.
lines of coincidence.
It's just coinky dink from around the world.
Yeah, it's swamp
Yeah.
gas over Venus. It's Fata Morgana.
Yeah.
I mean, ancestors.
So what do you think ley lines are then, Hobbit?
I
Or
reckon.
Fraser? Whoever wants to.
You'd want to go first, Fraser?
You go first.
So I reckon, and that's why I was like stalling because now I have to come up with something. So the Earth has got its points of energy, right? Everything seems to have its
Why?
because Look, we know it's got these lines of energy because you can dowse for them, and these lines they go all the way around the world. And in places where they link up, you get interesting monuments like pyramids, cathedrals, and stone
Wikipedia
circles.
does the same thing. So Wikipedia says ley lines are straight alignments drawn between various historic structures and prominent landmarks. The idea was developed in the early 20th century Europe.
Right. Jerk-off crystals
Okay.
power ley lines, end of.
Yeah.
There we go. We solved it.
Okay, so so the term ley lines was invented in the 20th century, or the
Yeah.
early 20s, whatever.
Well,
right?
I don't know. They're just saying. Well, this is Wikipedia, so it's the same sort of person
Yeah.
that wrote the article. So what they're doing is, it specifically says ley lines are straight alignments drawn between various historic structures. So they're not saying the ley lines are already there. It's just like, oh look, bro, look, let's
Yeah.
play doctor.
You know, here's like
Okay.
here's some
Right.
alignments which are just thousands of years old, and yeah, coincidences upon coincidences.
Okay, right. Well, okay, I think there's two different things here then, isn't there? There is the interpretation of this, slack-jawed fucking journalist who's like, oh, well, they're just drawing lines between places.
It's just
which,
random lines,
you know,
bro.
It could be. No, that could be the case that, this guy is just literally said, oh well, these two places are important for some reason, and drew a line, right? Okay. But then there's the phenomena that, like, all these folklore from ancient China to, Ireland and Germany and wherever else, there's probably more, right? That talk about these spiritual, like, paths that's to do with some kind of, like, spiritual energy.
It's almost as if there's some
exist.
universal truth that
Yeah.
all these disparate groups have stumbled across.
Yeah.
Almost.
So they're trying to conflate like this ley line thing with nothing to see here, whereas they should be looking at the actual, like, the folklore tales, this stuff, rather than just saying, well, this guy invented the line. See, it's
Do you
just
think-
semantics.
Yeah, it's like what came first, the ley lines or the structures upon them? It's like
Yeah.
that's the first thing you need to ascertain, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think it
Well,
must
I mean,
be quite...
well, it could be wrong, but well, I'm guessing one of the ley line lines is Stonehenge to the pyramids, right?
Yeah.
Right, but the thing is, how have they tested between those two little points? Is there any of this kind of like spiritual energy thing? I doubt,
Yeah.
Has people done that? Like,
Yeah.
have they tested for that shit?
They
Because
have.
again, that's all right. Okay, so again, we have this body of water. How do you go across it? If what?
Earth. Lines.
Right.
Magnets.
Well, I mean,
I
again,
don't
this
know.
is a disconnect. Well, this is a disconnect from the folklore then, because it says water stops these spiritual.
Well, they do specifically
Right.
say running water. It is
Right.
a body of water running water. It is a body of water running water.
No.
Okay. Right.
It's a body of
so
water.
the sea isn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every
right, so
city
you cross
built in the
oceans,
west turned by
just
ley
not
lines. Uno says every city built in the west turned by ley lines, i.e. Paris, Washington.
That's it. Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. I've heard
Is it,
that.
What comes first, the ley lines or the city? Because obviously you have cities
Yeah.
that spring up around ports, don't you? It's generally ports, and it started off as ports because that was the way people did mass transit then, didn't they? So.
Do you think the pyramids, because they're very ancient, very big, like, as Napoleon's engineers say, there's enough stone here to make a 10-metre wall around all of France. That's like a massive amount of stone. Do you think the pyramids are like an artificial anchor point?
Is that what they were doing? Were they pile? Is the pyramids really? They're just piling it up because they knew that France needed to be stopped.
Well, rather than making a
Is that
wall,
what the pyramids are, Hobbit? Is that what you're saying?
rather than making a wall around all.
But the French stopped them at the crucial point.
So I'm looking at maps of ley lines, and this one is from a website called allthat'sinteresting.com. And
Stick it in the chat.
I would do, except there we go. So I've copy image, and the chat is this one,
General.
and general. Here we go. So looking at the map here, we have starting off in Ireland, Skellig, Michael Skellig, Michael,
Skellig, yeah.
and then you have Saint.
Let's play Skelliger. We did an episode called "Let's Play Skelliger."
And then you have St Michael's Mount near Penzance. Hello, Grief. And then in France, you have exactly the same as St Michael's Mount, Mont Saint Michel, which is French for St Michael's Mount. Then you get into the first bit of Italy. You have Sacra di San Michele. Then you have in southern Italy, Santuario di San Michele. So all of this is St Michael. And then
I can't put that because it's having a nig fit about the
is it Jeffifif?
file type.
Is it Jeffifi?
Are you giving me Jeffifs, Hobbit?
Look, I'm sorry that the internet these days they use GIFs, and I just you do is you do a screen grab of it, and then you can copy and paste it into Paint and save it as a JPEG. But then after you leave Italy, you go through into
No, it's working. You have to go to the link, don't you? You can't copy it from Discord.
you go to roads where you have Santo Monserrat di Taxia Michel. Well, that doesn't sound very Greek. And then you have in Israel Monastero Stella Maris di Monte Carmelo. I assume Carmelo is Spanish for Saint Michael.
But couldn't you literally make up your own lines about anything?
Well, this is the thing, right? You get a bunch of like places, and then you can draw a straight line and go for it. It's like, oh, isn't that interesting? All these places in Europe and the Levant, which are dedicated to Saint Michael, you can draw a straight line through them. What are the chances of that? You know, who would have?
That's an anti-Semitic canard, and
Oh, am I gonna have to go on the naughty step with Kanye?
Kanye West.
Kanye
Okay.
West
All
go
right,
in a
okay,
private jet?
right, okay. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
You've got one thing. Can you show us any more?
No, that's
Right.
the only one. Go away. Stop asking
Right.
for more evidence.
Okay, well there. Okay.
Why do you want more? Why do you want the ley line that goes through the Greenwich Mean Time and the pyramids? Let's see if I can find that map.
Right.
What if I type in specifically ley lines? Ley lines.
Europe. Yeah, just put ley lines Europe or something. Let's
Greenwich.
actually a map.
Is it Greenwich or Greenwich? London's ley line. Greenwich Mean Time. Oh, I found a map of ley lines in Great Britain.
Oh. Okay.
I'll just copy the image.
Can I do a wacky one of it?
Oh, go on.
Let's see if this one works.
Ah, so nearly all the ley lines in Great Britain centre on Oxford, which makes a lot of sense. There's one which goes from Abbotsbury Castle.
Do you want to see a wacky one, Hobbit? I'll put it up now.
I'll read out this one. Abbotsbury Castle, Salisbury, Lochmagus, Reading, for Merriam, which is St Albans, Bury St Edmunds, Beworth, and Cloister-on-Sea.
I'll put Hobbit's one up in a minute.
Let's have a look at BBC One just quickly. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Bloody hell. Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah. Well, look, I mean, seriously, the fact that you can draw these lines and make them up to certain events, I think that tells us a lot, doesn't it? I mean, if you can't see the patterns in this, frankly, it's like, if you haven't got the eyes to see, I'm sorry, but if you have, just looking at this image is just like, mate, that's it. Seriously.
JD.
Is this the patron saint of rocks sticking out of the sea?
Interesting.
That's on
There's
BBC
your ley
Two.
lines there, Hobbit.
Yeah, there we
Your
go.
ley line map up.
And look at that. Oxford is just the locus point of all this. I mean, hang on. Let me have a look at that line just a bit closer. The Oxford one. So there's one that goes.
Wait. Are you telling me that is the exact point you clogged the Weatherspoons toilet? Because that would be a fucking hilarious coincidence.
That's all the energy being sucked into Hobbit's bog.
I can neither confirm nor deny. And look, seriously, if you own a pub or a public building and you have conveniences, you should make sure not to use a low flow system. Which, like, if the patron can spit more than your toilet can flush, they are going to be clogged. And you're not going to save yourself any water. Right, so there's this one that goes between Hastings, Oxford, Alcester, and then not too far from Chester in the north. I think that's the line you'll find the Rollright Stones on. So Glastonbury Tor, Wanborough, that must be... Well, where's... I think Wanborough and Glastonbury Tor, you've got Stonehenge. Either way, I mean, look at that. No wonder Oxford's the magic city, the dreaming spires of Oxford. Yeah, because all of that energy is focused on it. Oh, you know what? Oh, damn it. I haven't got my car yet. When I do, I think I'm going to celebrate, go to Spoons. Not Spoons. I'm going to go to Wendy's and get a Wendy burger. I might stop in Spoons after.
Yeah.
Bring
But
your own flush.
I want a Wendy burger. It's going to be my treat back when I'm back in the saddle. Yeah.
When you have the jag back.
When I got the jag. Yeah. Oh, I miss my Jag. So yeah, I mean, look, these ley lines, they're pretty cool, man. They go in all these places, and it's very interesting. And I'm sure you'd like to see some more. Who's David Furlong? Why do I know that name? Oh, the website doesn't exist anymore. More of the internet's bloody dead. Shit. Stephen Walters map of subterranean London lines? No, that's just the underground and other stuff. Ley lines through London. That should give me something, right? London's ley line patterns. Oh, okay, yeah, that works. So I'll give you a website this time, Hemi.
Yeah.
And set around London as a geometric pattern includes triangles and alignments or ley lines that generates London's sacred landscape. This pattern needs to be understood. Is my voice alright for reading, by the way? Because I know it sounds like a bag of gravel. The first is based on a major alignment that links the Great Abbey of Canterbury in the east and the Cistercian monastery site of Abbey Door in the west. The alignment broadly follows the Roman road of Watling Street and passes through the principal sites of Canterbury Cathedral, Rochester Cathedral, Greenwich, Bermondsey, Downing Street, Bulstrode Hillfort, Gloucester Cathedral, I've been there, I like Gloucester Cathedral, and Abbey Door. As can be seen from the plan, this is very neatly bisects London. This line is shown in blue in the primary triangle plane. See the side panel. Don't know about that. So the Michael line, it goes through Cornwall, near Plymouth, near Bristol, and then it goes up for East Anglia. And the Canterbury line goes through Canterbury in the east, up to Abbey Door, which is north of Pembrokeshire in the west. And it looks like these bisect, I'm going to say either Oxford, High Wycombe, or maybe Reading. For the want of a better title, I'll call this line the Canterbury line. It should be noted that it links the spiritual Canterbury and temporal Westminster seats of power in the UK. Oh, yeah. Because Westminster used to be the old capital of England, didn't it?
Yeah.
Did you not know Westminster was the capital of England back in the olden days? Well, I'm telling you now, buddy. Westminster. Sorry. Oh no, not Westminster. Sorry. I got it wrong. I meant to say Winchester. Winchester was the old capital. But yeah, Westminster is the where the Houses of Parliament are, and Canterbury is where the Church of England resides. So yeah, cool.
Are they on a ley line as well?
Yeah, do you want
Got a ley line from that.
what, the Canterbury line?
Mm.
Well, draw a line through Canterbury, then one through Westminster, and then it ends up going through Oxford and Abbey Door, and Gloucester Cathedral and all that. You're sounding. I sense doubt.
I don't. I think we're conflating two things here.
Remind me
think
again
that's
what
the problem.
conflation means.
You're adding
Conflation.
two things together which shouldn't be added
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like there is a phenomena here, and then there is, well,
Coincidence.
we're drawing lines on a map,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but do you not find...
Right.
I find the lines are more than coincidence. I think it's significant. And that's why other people have said, look, we think it's significant.
Okay, yeah, but if you can prove a phenomena within those ley line things, then yeah, sure. If we can put those together and say that yes, the phenomena then equals these ley lines, sure. But at the moment, to me, it seems like there is a possibility. It's just lines on a map, and then there's this phenomena that's okay. It's been built upon, but it only seems to be in smaller areas. Like it's not this global, machine thing where you can stretch a line from, you know, John O'Groats to Land's End kind of thing, you know.
Mate, did you see the line of St Michael, which went from Ireland in the west to
Again, right?
the Levant in the east?
Yes, I saw the line.
Yeah.
But again, isn't that a coincidence?
It's a
Do you
coincidence.
have more than one?
Well, the thing you have to ask yourself is like, why did all those people decide to do sites to St Michael on this line? I mean, and then you have to ask yourself, okay, so if you got like 2 lines, the odds are 1 to 1 because you can draw 2 lines anywhere on Earth. And if you, how do you like? Okay, so let's say you've got 3 sites to St Michael on this one line, on a sphere. How do you work out what's the probability that you've got 3 things on this? So a sphere is a 3-dimensional object, right?
Right.
And you've now got 3 points which all coincide. So what's the odds that point A, B, and C would form a line on this spherical object?
Okay.
Or for that matter, if it's a flat thing, you know, if it's a flat realm, what again? What are the chances that these 3 would line up? It would line up,
Well, I mean,
and
okay.
then okay. So without
An
work,
azimuthal equidistant map.
no. So
on.
without trying to do the maths, because I don't want to get too
Right.
bogged down in the details. Would you agree with me that if you've got 4 things in that line, that's like more significant than if you've got 3 things in the line? So,
Yes.
so when you've got
there is a significance there, but again, if it's the only one, can we not say, oh, you know, this could be,
well,
could have been a line that Saint Michael, you know, traversed? I don't know.
so well, I think I don't know if Saint Mike. No, I'm not sure. I might be thinking
Could he
Saint
not
Paul.
have like
But-
made a pilgrimage to like the Holy Land via that route, kind of thing? Like,
I don't.
you know?
Well, the thing
that's
is,
why his churches are built along that line.
would you be
Yeah, a
going
bit
through
like
the Alps there?
There's an Eleanor Cross in Northampton. There's quite a few Eleanor Crosses. It's when the king took his wife on her funeral. Was it a funeral procession or something? And whenever they did a stop, they made a Queen Eleanor Cross.
Well, do all those Queen Eleanor crosses form a straight line on the map, or are they a bit like higgledy-piggledy, like you've got to go here and there?
I've got no idea.
So there's 7 points on the St Michael's line, which I think is if it's a coincidence, the odds are astronomical.
Right.
And I'm
7's a satanic number, isn't it? You remember we did that
I
later
don't know.
on.
I don't know. Look, I'm not saying if it is. No, I think it's 13 is the Satan's number, or 6. Now,
No, do you remember we did the thing with all the 9/11 dates and all that stuff? 7's one of their numbers, isn't it?
Oh God. 7's
so
my favourite.
okay. Here's the thing, right? Are you guys looking at more ley lines whilst I'm doing this? Because you know, so far the only person that's, you know, I'm sure there's more than just like one or two maps. So.
There's loads of there's any number of maps.
Yeah, there's. Well, that's the thing. So I think it's.
Everyone's made their own map. I think.
I think it's more than coincidence. I think it's significant, and I don't know what this phenomena is or what it does. All I just know is this phenomena exists.
You seen the one that goes from is it Great Yarmouth? Goes from Great Yarmouth to Penzance. Oh, that's St Michael's ley line, isn't it? Sorry.
Oh yeah, there's the one that goes through Cornwall and ends up in East Anglia.
Yeah, that's the one.
Mm.
I started the other end.
Okay, well, it seems like the images are the most famous one, obviously. Is hello, what's it? That? No, that's a bit
Seems
off.
there's ley lines for everything.
When will there be a ley line for the world?
Yeah, okay, so the only one that seems to be, like, recorded, like, as an actual thing is the St. Michael's line thing.
I don't know. There's this one. I don't know what all the plot points are. You seen this one, the Google Maps one? There must be churches, are they?
Okay, there's another one here. Okay, so from
I'll see
St.
if I can find the
Michael's
context
Mount
for
in
this one.
Penzance, right? This is going the other way, right? So St. Michael's Mount, right? and then it goes to St Michael's, Brentor, Glastonbury, Stoke, St Michael, Avebury, London. No, that's not.
Hobbit Mike is on
April,
max
April,
ear
yeah.
rape. Okay, I'll turn the gain down on it. See if that makes. Or I could just have.
BBC One.
I could have the microphone there.
Look, again, I need more like actual like.
Oh, did you know ley lines are sometimes known as dragon lines?
Oh no, you'll trigger Hobbit.
But dragons are real.
That's interesting then. Well, okay. What?
So
is
there's
there
a,
any more
there's
than
a
that?
16-mile long ley line that connects Pershore to Winchcombe. So that's Pershore Abbey, Elmley Castle, Breeden Hill Iron Age settlement, Beckford, 17th century church of St John the Baptist, Saxon origins, Little Washbourne ancient manor house, Hobnails Inn, and Winchcombe Abbey.
Okay.
And that's a funeral path. A funeral path between the village of Wick and Pershore Abbey is said to be haunted by monks.
Damien says, bet there's loads of Mackey's ley lines. You know what? Draw the map and then see if there's anything interesting on those lines.
Yeah.
See, that's the problem then. If it's this is the problem. I was saying, if it's just lines on the map without any phenomena, then it's nothing at all, right? There has to be a phenomena. You know.
I found an interactive map
Oh. Okay.
on Higgy Pop.
Hickey Pop.
Not to be confused with the Iggy Pop.
The reputable. Yeah. It's Higgy Pop.
Like Hikikomora.
There you go. There's Higgy Pop.
Hikikomora. Hikikomora.
So there's we have British latitudinal ley line. We have St Michael's ley line. The Irish West ley. Oh, this is quite
British Leyland ley line.
Yeah. Irish West ley line, North West ley. There's a load of ley lines.
Oh the ley line. Oh the ley line.
Is this the one, the northwest one? Does that go through Denmark?
That's pretty much the map I've got on screen at the so the map I've got on screen at the minute
Yeah.
are the British longitudinal ley line, which goes top to bottom. You've got the
breaking
blue
news.
one, the northwest ley line. What?
Marco Coletti Spaghetti has found a ley line that connects Mark Collett's house to Epstein Island.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
See, this is a Fortean
I
Words
believe you now,
exclusive.
Fuck it.
Yeah,
Gotta be
there we
real.
go. We got a convert.
Yeah.
Gotta be real.
So the
Before
other
that, they
ley lines
didn't
are-
exist.
There's one that goes from Manchester to Ireland. That's the Mavish Hall ley line.
Oh, Birmingham.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we got these lines. Are there like recorded phenomena along those lines?
Yeah, Mark Collett and Jeffrey Epstein are on them.
Epstein. Gotta call him Epstein.
Epstein.
Got some breaking news here. Grace the Cursed Doll finds a new home in Cheshire's most haunted hotel.
Grace the Cursed Doll. Oh
Yeah.
no, that's
A doll dubbed most haunted in the UK will be the centre of new haunted exhibit. They'll be housed within Chester Ye Olde King's Head. I don't know whether Ye will be making an appearance there. Ye
Yay.
Olde King's Head.
yay old.
Ye.
Yay.
Ye Olde King's Head.
Yay. Yeah.
Is that Ye's favourite pub?
It might be. Do you think he'll get invited there?
He should do. He should turn up though.
Yeah.
Definitely. He should go for a pint there. There's probably loads of ye olde pubs he could go to.
Yeah. What is he? Oh my god! I've just realised the clever, trademark thing. He now owns every single pub and sweet shop called Ye Oldie.
Yeah.
Ah, that guy is a genius. I liked his Roblox song.
He's a musical genius. We know that because he told us he is.
Okay. Also, I like his Roblox song.
Arbor Low is a stone circle which is known as the Temple of the Sun, and is sometimes referred to as the Stonehenge at North. It's situated roughly in the centre of the British Isles and is a place of earth energy that is crisscrossed with ley lines. In the 1970s, a group called the Dragon Project did some research here and found that certain times of the year, the stones seem to be emanating ultrasound and electromagnetic signals.
Yep, that makes sense.
Okay.
That much of a genius, he made Alex Jones look sane. I've yet to see the interview, so don't spoil the end score for me, please.
Yeah.
I've heard it's fire. It's like literally melting Twitter right now.
Did it go into injury time?
I think injury time came in the first minute.
Oh God! So it was penalty shootout at the end.
Jones.
Yeah.
You think Jones went in studs up? Is that what we're saying?
I think he. I don't know. Don't know what he thought, but some of the clips.
You telling me
fire.
there's some dirty sliding tackles in there?
Basically, yeah. It's like everything Mark Collett would ever ask for. Like, you know, you can finally talk about, you know, these people.
Wow. Man, that's
Thanks to Yay.
finally some entertainment for this Christmas. Yeah.
Right. We all done? I know I am.
Yeah.
Oh
Right.
God, it's time, right? Well, thank you for watching this special edition of Fortean Words, with the
Gentlemen, please.
yeah with the special theme tune, the forbidden theme tune. That was on BBC Two only, not BBC One.
So night all.
And I'm gonna end
Good night,
it.
Hobbit.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna end it on BBC Two. So good night all.